then aren't you better not be poor. Like, god damn, I gotta work hard as fuck as a black woman, but these white bitches get to not work hard. That's crazy.
Yeah, we as a black woman got to come to the whole damn table to even deal with a man that got something going on.
I think black men and black women should be okay with each other having standards for each other.
Hold on, can Adiola finish your question? I'm curious.
Yeah. That standard thing, I'm not even going to touch on that. But first of all, this lie about athletes not being the sharpest tool in the toolbox. Now, just because they can't answer math questions don't mean that they can't think. I've been an athlete. I was a D1 athlete and was in the locker room with all these niggas. I tell y'all right now, these niggas simply just don't give a fuck. It's not that they can't think through these things. They just don't care.
And can I also add, I was a D1 athlete, and these women know exactly what the fuck they're doing.
Like, it's really... No, wait. Back to Adiola. So why don't they care? Why don't they care?
Because, so the thing is, like, with black athletes, a lot of them that when they go to these big 10, Pac-12, Power 5 schools and all that stuff, the white girls there are literally groupies. And they know this coming in. And they still feed into that attention because they just like somebody giving them that ego rub. So,
but that makes them not like that sharp, though.
That exactly. No, that's not. It's not that they're not that sharp.
Exactly. Nah, that definitely means they're not that sharp.
Hold on, that's not true.
That's not true. Yeah,
because
you can tell that it's play sports.
You can be a smart person. It takes a smart. You can be a smart. They're thinking. They're putting themselves in positions to get what they want. So it's not that they're not sharp. Their priorities is just what their priorities is. They want that ego rub, which is why they're going to go to the environment.
Right, they're falling for it, which means that they're not smart enough to.
They marrying the bitches and getting friends.
That's not true. I'm trying to tell you, I went to a fucking public Ivy. There are women there. I would rub shoulders. I ran track, okay? D1 track. There were women that literally came from affluent families. Money, okay? And they knew how to position themselves to get what they wanted. So Adiola is spot on with what he is saying. They know how to position themselves. They know how to rub elbows. They know how to get in the right rooms, the right conferences, all of that, okay? Like, all of that. So this is spot on. And other men saying that they don't believe this shit is just cap because y'all niggas are there too.
Well, no, Simone, I wasn't saying that I don't believe it. I was saying that in order to be an individual who knows that and you know why these women are here and you still fall for it because they rub your ego, right, means that you're not a smart man.
Right.
No, it's not even about ego with athletes. It's convenience. They're busy. They got shit to do. Like, they make it easy for them.
Marrying the cum bucket?
Because they're not smart.
And having kids with them.
Oh my God, bro! Stop saying because they're not smart.
Okay, they not. Okay, they
just prioritize.
So unless you're a professional athlete, can we move on from that?
Like, how the fuck do they end up marrying the cum buckets with their intelligent ass?
It's a business decision.
It's
to them. Prioritize things.
She comes with a trust fund. She shuts her mouth. Unfortunately, you know what I mean. It's a business.
She don't.
You love to talk about stuff you don't know anything about.
Like, what make y'all
the same thing happens in
they shut their mouth until the ring is
she
on.
cries
a lot.
They cry a lot.
What makes you think that they shut their mouth?
All right, so
they shut their mouth until
they cry a lot.
On
the main point. Maybe we could take out the shut your mouth. She comes with a trust fund. Just that like the young lady just said, she was in Ivy League with a lot of affluent white women. And
why does it matter if she got a trust fund?
Because remember when you said the white girl, she gets to
not do
nothing?
Why does it matter if she got a trust fund if you rich?
Because it's a business decision.
Them niggas don't be thinking about that shit.
You don't always talk about stuff that you have no connection to. It's so good.
Not everybody in the NFL is rich either. NFL means not for long.
Okay.
Can I finish?
A lot of these guys are not making those big contracts like that.
Marriage is not also a business.
They know how to position themselves and prioritize things and in a different way than other women do.
What do they do, Simone? How do they position themselves and prioritize?
I mean, we're specifically talking about like athletes.
They know how to go niggas.
What?
You know what?
I know girls who uncles own the teams, right? Who uncles or family members were GMs. Like, we're talking about a different kind of access. I don't know what kind of white people y'all know.
Okay, I don't feel like it's nothing wrong with what Brittany Renner did.
I don't, but we talking about white women.
Yeah, I'm talking about black women because black women need to start pulling Brittany Rainers and white bitch shit. We need to start doing that. We need to start.
Hold up. It's about expectations.
We need to go after athletes because they're dumb. They're so dumb. It's so easy to trap them. Yes, that's what we need to start trapping these niggas for real.
Yeah, but I think everybody's right. I think it's about expectations. Like, look at the guy who beat up his white girlfriend, the NFL player. Now, to me, just looking at that story, he was the guy that probably thought he was going to make a lot of money in the NFL. He was only in there for a couple of years, so we know he didn't make a lot of money. And she probably thought he was going to make a lot of money. So I think everybody's here. I think it was the expectations. Like, okay, I'm going to get with this white girl. She might have a dad, and she's white, and she might be better than me getting with a black girl because she might have some type of stability. And then the flip side is, he's in the NFL, he's black, he's big, he might make a lot of money. And then look what ended up happening. The frustration sat in. They was in looked like a studio apartment, almost looked like a trailer, and he beat the shit out of her. So that happens all the time.
Business decision, like I said, my brother.
We have a unique way of romanticizing marriage in the West, but not everybody gets married for love.
It's a contractual agreement. It's a contract when you get married. There are ramifications if the contract is breached at a certain time, i.e. infidelity, etc., etc. So be careful what you do and know that everything comes with a consequence.
Yeah,
it's
and be
funny.
careful what you ask for.
Kanye told us exactly what he was going to do and then did it.
Yo, he also said, if you ever listen to that song on Watch the Throne, where he says, like, if he ever has a kid, he's going to make him be a Republican and make sure white people like him and make sure that shit is weird as hell listening to nowadays.
It was definitely an unintended self-fulfilling prophecy.
Y'all want to know what's weird?
You know what song I'm talking about?
Himself as a black man. I don't know why that's so fucking weird.
You said what?
When Kanye, he had said something like, Kim was hiding my black kids from me, and this is what they do to a black man. It's actually strange to hear him identify as a black man. You wanted that proximity to whiteness so bad, but now you a nigga? That's weird.
What's gonna be weird? What's gonna be weird is the TikTok videos with
it wasn't
Kim
the
and all her like half black kids saying nigga, and Kim gonna be like rubbing it in people's faces and shit, doing TikToks where she's like singing nigga songs and shit. Like, these my kids. I'm kicking it with my kids. Braiding hair and shit.
Nah, Kim is not like that. Kim doesn't say that.
We got our hair braided.
Kim is not like that. She doesn't say that. She does not say that. Trust me.
She might not publicly, but we really don't.
I know her personally. Love. She doesn't say that.
Oh, okay.
We shall see.
Well,
she hasn't said it yet.
All I'm saying is that the running joke with white girls and athletes is that white girls will do whatever the hell you want. And that is exactly what they're going to do. They're going to do whatever the hell you want up until they get what they want. So they'll just keep doing what these niggas want over and over. And these niggas know that.
So, Adiola, how is that not a question of your intelligence if you know some shit
it's not
and you still do it?
Okay, if you stop talking and let me talk, then I can tell you. If you know that A is going to get you B, and you still do A, it's not because you're not smart. It's because you want B. These niggas want people who are going to do whatever the fuck they want with no questions. And so they're going to continue to go to these white girls because they know that the black women are not going to go for that shit. They know that the black women are not as money hungry or gold digging as they want, as a lot of people try to make black women seem. That's really what white girls do, because we've all made it clear in this conversation. The only reason they're going for these niggas is for their money, right? Right. So if you, as a black athlete with potential to make money or already have a very big contract, and white women start approaching you, and you done already seen the story happen 100 motherfucking times,
right?
You still proceed to do it. It's because you want to get B. So I'm not questioning your intelligence.
You making excuses for these niggas, bro.
Okay, so let me. Can I broach this? Can I broach this? Let's broach Dwayne Wade versus Kobe Bryant.
I was just thinking of Kobe. He met Vanessa in high school, and she did a whole 360.
Yeah, I mean, most of these athletes.
Yeah, but Kobe grew up in Italy, and Dwayne Wade grew up in Chicago.
But Benzino, Kobe's.
Nah, he grew up in the suburbs. He's not from Chicago,
bro. Marry somebody black. They weren't very supportive of what was going on, because I feel like they saw what was coming with Vanessa and her mom.
Well, let's give Dwayne Wade credit because, you know, he stayed with a black woman, and then after that, he stayed with another black woman. I'm sure he had white women all over him. That's a different. You know? Dwayne Wade, that most of his women are his beards. Let's be honest.
Do we give people credit for dating or the quality of their experience?
No. And then let's be honest, most of these athletes are dating their college sweethearts. Even if they don't go to the league, these are the women they marry, unfortunately. But that's not fair to say that about Dwayne Wade just because he keeps being with black women. If he was with a white woman, then y'all wouldn't say the beard thing. Oh, listen. Yes, we would have.
I'm saying there's a lot of data to support that, though.
But my thing is, how is it beneficial for a black woman, to be with a man who is perceived or a running joke to be gay? Like, but there hasn't been no gay man to come out and out Dwayne Wade. That's just rumors. Yeah. Okay. Well, we can agree.
Yeah, honestly,
you don't have to be gay to be queer, y'all.
She's a bit masculine, ain't she? So I don't think she cares.
She's a bit
masculine.
All his baby.
See, black men got it bad because damn, even when you stay with your race, it's like, okay, he must be gay. I mean, damn, like.
Oh, we're not saying that you must be gay. I mean, we don't assume that you're gay, but we're
no, I'm just saying that Dwayne Wade, look at y'all got to give him credit. He got with a black woman, you know what I'm saying, had children by black women, and then he didn't leave the black. If he would have left the black woman
on his black woman, what are we? Yeah, can we talk about the quality?
Man, y'all are hard, boy. I swear, man. Y'all are hard on black men.
I'm sorry.
Y'all are hard on black men.
Jesus Christ. You would have been better to say LeBron. You should have said LeBron and not Dwayne.
But
yeah, why did you
supposed to be cheating on his wife with a bunch of white women?
But publicly, we don't know that LeBron had a baby on her. So though we know that about.
Okay, I'm trying to understand what are y'all giving him credit for?
Exactly.
Because for all that y'all say about how much black women are this and they're the trope and they're the queens and they're the best, y'all want us to give him credit for getting with a black woman, marrying her, and staying with her throughout the entirety of his career. Like that's the most bare minimum shit I've ever heard in my life. Like that's what I expect you to do. Why else would you marry the person? Switching up on your wife.
Calling your fish for swimming. Exactly.
Like that shit is regular as fuck. And so we're getting to a point now where we're just so accepting and so we expect these niggas to leave their black wives professional with pain. That now that they aren't doing that shit, it's like, oh, round of a motherfucking applause, and it's just like, what are we clapping?
Well, not a round of applause.
So what? Are they damned if they do, damned if they don't? Then are they damned if they do, damned if they don't? They can get a fucking break. Either way, they turn.
That's what it's sounding like. Black women, then why not? You know, I mean, give them credit when they do stay with black women.
Fuck no.
Right. No, we should.
It's a damn if you do, damn if you don't.
Y'all not your great grandma.
Oh, so they can't fucking win then. This.
Black men can be
we should have to incentivize men to just be good people, and that's so fucking weird.
Honestly, no, you should. I feel like you
black men don't
should.
get discredited.
Excuse me, it's my room. Shut the fuck up. Damn. Okay. Yes. Anyways, I feel like we should. Like, if somebody is doing like what they're supposed to do, you should, like, you know, show gratitude. Show them that you're thankful for them doing what they're supposed to do. It's like, oh, let's not give mothers shit on fucking Mother's Day because, oh well, bitch, you're supposed to be a mother. No, you still should thank people. Like, you still should be appreciative. Like, what, you could be fucked up. They could be fucked up. Like, yes, we should thank people the same way that we punish people for doing wrong shit.
Man,
we should
don't
thank
even
people.
believe in push gifts.
But that's the very reason, Oprah, why they going to white bitches. Because when you do act right, they don't get no fucking gratitude. I ain't gonna rub his ego. I ain't gonna do this. I ain't gonna do that. All that bullshit gonna keep you out of that NBA, out of that NFL, out of that golf, out of all the shit is your fucking attitude.
No.
Get the fuck together. We are the most beautiful women on the face of the earth. We're the most beautiful women on the face of the earth, and we gotta work 3 times as hard. And part of the thing that's keeping us out of the whole circle is our fucking attitude.
People are asking for a real problem.
Wake it
Okay,
up.
so if we think being a pick-me is the best option, we need to use I say.
First of all, that's not necessarily
It's not the fucking bear.
Hold on, excuse me. It's not being a pick-me. Y'all need to know the difference between being a pick-me and just being a good woman to a man, because
I know
think
the difference,
that's the fucking
and I'm
problem.
hearing the
Excuse me. I think that's the fucking problem. Like, it's not there is a difference between being a pick-me, and then being a good woman, doing what the fuck you supposed to do, having a clean fucking house when he comes home, rubbing his back, rubbing his feet, treating him like a fucking king. There's a difference between being a pick-me and treating your man like a king. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with showing a man that you appreciate him. There's nothing wrong with loving a man. It's okay to love him. And love is a fucking action.
We went from one extreme example to this. So weird.
There's nothing wrong with that. It's nothing wrong with
there is a
Hold on,
1 minute. Hold on.
There's nothing wrong
One
with that.
mic
That
on
is not a fucking
Tia.
pick-me.
So let me say
That's
this.
not being a pick-me, and it's nothing wrong with that. It's nothing wrong with thanking a man for doing what the fuck he's supposed to do. It's nothing wrong with saying, you took the trash out. Thank you, baby. Like, oh, you're paying all of these bills. Let me suck your dick. It's nothing wrong with that. It's nothing wrong with sucking his dick as soon as he walked through the motherfucking door. It's nothing wrong with that.
It's nothing
Like,
wrong
damn, a
with that.
man doing everything that he's supposed to do. You could be with an ain't shit ass motherfucking nigga, but you got a good fucking man. Treat him right. Do the right fucking thing. The same way that you want a man to treat you the fuck right and do what the fuck he's supposed to do. He wants a woman that's gonna treat him the fuck right and do what the fuck she's supposed to do. Like, that's not fair. You can't expect a man to just be good as fuck to you and you treating him like shit. The fuck?
She's
so
I agree.
Hey, she just
Let
people of the church say.
Amen.
Who said treat people that? Like,
nobody said nothing about. Hold on, ladies. I just noticed, for some reason, it seems to be a disrespect for Tia going on in the room. I was trying to write an email, and the whole time she was talking, I heard so many women over talking her. And my thing is, it's okay to have differences of opinion. That's cool. That's why we're having this conversation, so we can hear everybody's opinion. But when the top left is speaking, I don't care if you were speaking, even if she's interjecting, please mute your mic so that she can speak, because this is her room. She started the conversation. And I think that's just common courtesy that we have here on Clubhouse. So please, and the reality is, if you want to be heard when you're speaking, then we all need to mute up when somebody's speaking. And then once they mute their mic, then you can come off and speak. But when everybody's talking at the same time, clearly nobody is able to hear what no one is saying. So you're not getting your point across because we can't hear you anyways. Thank you, Naika.
I would love to hear what Katie had to say.
I just find it, so I agree with you. But it's always interesting how, like, in a lot of these conversations, it always turns back around on Black women, and we're kind of like the primary problem. So I guess my question is, like, at what point do we hyper-focus and critique Black men as well? Because it can't be that it can't be that the Black woman is to blame for all of these phenomenons going on. It just can't be. So that's my question.
Can I say something? I want to take the Dwayne Wade thing as a perfect
moderator. It's on him. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just want to take the Dwayne Wade thing as a perfect example. Like, here is a man, very successful, good-looking man, and he came up with the woman that he grew up with, high school sweetheart, I think. Okay, he had children. Now, he left. Okay, he did leave the woman, and he might have had a child out of wedlock. But he's not getting, nobody's perfect, but he's not getting no credit for staying with a Black woman. Now, regardless if people think he's gay, if people think that the woman is a beard, he could have got with a white woman to be a beard. All I'm saying is, if you're going to criticize Black men for going to white women, then at least give props to the Black men who didn't. And at least because the optics, that's the most important thing, right? We're talking here, right? Because he could have had a white woman for the beard, if y'all think that. But the bottom line is he stayed in his race, and nobody's giving him credit. And I'm gonna land my plane.
So we need to give him credit because he stayed faithful to someone.
Why
he made
not?
A commitment to.
If you're gonna condemn,
you can interrupt me, but I
him,
can't.
why not give him credit?
That was my question. So my question was, I just want to make sure I'm hearing what I'm hearing. So we are giving credit to men who choose willfully to make a commitment and then to stay steadfast and faithful to that commitment. Is that what? Yes.
Yes.
Yes, that is.
What's so hard about that?
Magic Johnson, Tim Hardaway, the list goes on.
I'm not rewarding a fish for
Give
swimming.
credit.
What about
you give credit to black men?
What, you gonna punish him for
when
swimming?
When is it okay to give credit to black men?
So I have a question. So do you not, I don't know if you have a child or not, but do you not, like when your child bring home a report card, although in your eyes he should be making straight A's, but when he do it, you don't say good job, keep up the good work, you don't say words of encouragement to want him to keep doing what he's supposed to do?
Right.
Yeah, that's not
hold on. I don't think that's the same thing.
Yeah, it's not the same, Adiola. But you got
hold on. Giving credit and giving a
it is the same.
It is
what?
It is the
How
same.
is that not
It is the same.
Hello?
Forever.
Am I talking? I thought I was talking. Giving credit and giving accommodation are not the same, right? Because I know y'all know the stand-up from Chris Rock, right? When people be like, I take care of my kids. That's what you ought to do, right? I haven't been to jail. You shouldn't, right? That's just this is normalcy stuff, right? Me telling someone that you are a great father and I appreciate you is accommodation. Me being like, well, why don't you give him credit because he a dad? He's supposed to be one. Those are two different things. So to sit there and act like I got to go out of my way to reward you for something you ought to do is not okay. It's just
because he ought to do that.
Agree. I don't agree with that.
Okay, so I think,
excuse me.
It ain't nothing wrong with appreciation.
One mic on Oprah, one nigga at a time, one mic on Oprah.
Okay, it's like having car insurance, right? And they give you points or they give you like a discount when you don't get into a car accident. You're not supposed to wreck your fucking car, but they still give you incentives for not getting into a car accident. Like, I don't think it's nothing wrong with giving people credit for things that they're supposed to do. I just, the same way that you're going to punish somebody for doing something wrong, you're not supposed to be doing something wrong. Yes, you're going to be punished. I feel like people should be rewarded for doing what they're supposed to do as well. Like, I just don't find that to be...
It's entitlement, Ted. So it's entitlement.
But people have to learn how to validate themselves. I think that's the problem, because when that's
as far as people that want to
like, even when you train dogs, people will tell you not to give them treats every time they do stuff because they get in the habit of associating doing things for the treat, and they won't do it unless there is a treat. So again, like, people have to stop looking for external validation all the time and learn to validate yourself. There are certain things that you're supposed to do just because that's what you're supposed to do, and you should not feel as though...
validating yourself, you don't deserve to validate yourself because you did what you were supposed to do.
Right.
Like,
no, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying you should validate yourself, but if the idea is that you shouldn't do the right thing because nobody else is validating you, that's where the problem
nobody's
comes in.
saying that. Nobody's saying that you shouldn't do the right thing. We just saying that when people do the right thing, we can give them credit for it. Like, if that's the case, if y'all don't feel like that, then I don't want to hear no mother ask for shit on fucking Mother's Day. We canceling fucking Mother's Day and we canceling Father's Day. Y'all don't get shit.
Great point.
Supposed to be.
I think women...
If you're not giving the treats, they gonna go where the treats are. If you're not giving the treats, they gonna go where the treats are. So you ain't gotta get the treats, but trust me, they gonna go where they can get the treats.
That's a great point. I think
that's a validation thing.
Hold on. Wait,
before you go, who said that they're gonna go where the treats are? Which lady?
That was Kimberly.
Kim, that was you, Kim?
No, that was Kimberly.
Love.
That was Kimberly.
Down here, I'm probably
Kim,
down at the bottom with the fish.
Your reasoning, I'm just trying to make sure I'm following. Your reasoning of why black men are dating white women is because black women are not edifying them enough?
No, my point is to the people saying, don't do this, don't do that, this and that and the other. And so I'm saying, if that's what a black man wants, this, that, and the third, and you're not providing it, they are going to go where they can get it. They don't care. I have most of the men, people in my family are men. Out of 9 grandchildren, only 3 were girls. I know how these men operate. So what I'm saying is, if you don't want to rub his ego, if you don't want to suck his dick, if you don't want to give him credit for even going out and dribbling a ball or whatever it is the fuck they do, and that they supposed to do that to make a living, if you're not, because see, where men want to go is where they feel safe and cared for. So just like us.
That's We're having 2 different conversations.
I'm not finished talking to her. So do you give that same excuse to why men cheat? So men are cheating not because it's something that they need to deal with internally, but because he's going where somebody's giving him something that's deficient at home. Is that okay with you too?
No, but that is something well, wait a minute. Let me back up then. Maybe that is a case-by-case basis for one thing. But maybe they aren't getting what they want where they are. Maybe there are some situations in the relationship that need to be corrected on both sides. We don't know. But what I'm saying, for the purposes of this conversation, and because my whole thing is, we can sit up here and we can berate black athletes, black men, or men who are with white women all we want to. We can do that all day. Ain't shit gonna change. So if you want to be the one that's in the inner circle, and you want to be the one who sucks his dick when he comes home with the trophy from the Super Bowl, baseball, wherever it is, we have got to start thinking differently. So decide what it is that you want to do.
It's funny to me that your solution is, rather than, if something is wrong or dysfunctional, rather than address that, it's like operate in the dysfunction that exists. So what you're saying to me is, whether it's right or wrong, it doesn't matter. It's just do what you need to do to get it. And I've always been a root issue person. So if we're talking about root issues, I'm never going to tell my child, hey, if everybody else is cheating and that's how they make it A's, then you need to get with the game and cheat. And get with the game, because at the end he's still gonna be dumb because he didn't learn.
Is it cheating though?
So, I have a question.
Cheating. I'm not. Now you need to be figurative. I wasn't literal.
Okay.
I'm giving you
an
analogy.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Track with me. I'm saying to you that, to me, what you're trying to tell this room is not to address the root issue, but to play the game. And in most cases,
that's not what I'm saying.
That is exactly what.
That is not what she said.
Exactly. I don't think that's what she's saying at all. And Kim, I'm with you on that.
Different conversations, though. So.
Yeah, I think what happens,
and that's what I was trying to say. They're 2 different conversations.
One mic on Kay. Go ahead, Kay.
Explain to me.
Thank you, LD, because I've been trying to speak for quite some time now. Kim, I'm totally with you. The problem is, a lot of women want to love men how they want to love them. They're not listening to the man on how he needs or desires to be loved. That's just like the 5 love languages. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So that's how you know how to love your partner more. She's not saying they need to be, congratulated for doing the right things. But men like to be affirmed. Men like to have life spoken into them. They like to feel appreciated. And when you guys feel like you're so high and mighty that you don't need to say, man, baby, I love you. I appreciate that you're loyal to me. And I don't have to worry about you being in the streets like these other men. It's nothing wrong with doing that. Black women, we got to take a step back and humble ourselves a little bit, because a good man is hard to come by. And all the single ladies that's on this stage or in this audience, y'all know that shit. So if you have a problem with affirming your man, then guess what? The Instagram baddie is going to do that. You know what I'm saying? Or anybody else. I don't see that it's a problem with that. Like, we got to stop that shit. I'm not going to tell him.
Well, I don't like
for
when
what
you say
I'm not being cut off.
Okay,
Jesus.
let her finish.
Yeah, I'm going to go back to like I always do, you guys. Y'all know I'm just going to mute you and or drop you because I get very frustrated when other people like jump in. It frustrates me, and I'm sure it frustrates the audience members. So from now on, if you ever get dropped, blame it on me. Write it in your journal. I dropped you because you're just being rude, right? But if you want to stop being rude, you can always raise your hand and come back on stage. It's just very frustrating, you guys. Like, especially when a moderator is speaking, allow them to speak, and then y'all know y'all can jump in. Like, it's not hard. It's a good Tuesday. Let's finish out the day great. Popcorn style, so let's kind of reset the room and get back to it.
Well, thank you, Jackie. We can agree to disagree. Let's practice some decorum. And, whenever somebody is speaking, let's mute up and wait. You don't have to agree or disagree, and you can always challenge the point, but jumping in there, that's not cool. We're not playing double dutch.
I wanted to follow up on something that you said, Kay, and it's a legitimate question. I'd love to see all Black men married to Black women and have great Black
Before you go to the next thing, LD, though, I wanted to respond.
No, I'm staying on what Kay was saying. I'm trying to follow up on what she was saying. But
I wanted to respond to what my boo in Texas just said. That's all I'm saying. So my boo, here's why I'm not buying that is because that's all women, right? Not all women have to learn what their man love language is and be able to provide it. Because you're saying some men want affirmation, but other men may want acts of service. So regardless, I don't like when it's like Black women need to work on this because all women have to understand what their man's love language is and love the way he wants to receive love, not necessarily what she likes. Because I might like gifts, but that's what Kimberly.
But Naika, but you misquoted what I said. I said there is nothing wrong with speaking life into your man, just like how blah 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 with the different 5 love languages. I didn't say everybody's was words of affirmation. I used the analogy. I never said it like that. Okay, that was not my point.
But one of the key things you brought up is Black women need to, and the whole point of this discussion is about Black women versus white women. So while I'm saying I don't like when we try to act like Black women are not loving their men the way they want to be loved, is all women have issues with understanding how to demonstrate love the way a person receives it. It's not a Black woman issue.
Why are we being woefully obtuse right now?
Right.
I find it I'm sorry. It is what it is, right? We're being woefully obtuse. We know it's never in absolutes. We're never absolutely speaking on just Black women or absolutely speaking on just Black men. It's never that. In order to have these conversations, we have to be able to speak in general because we're speaking about ourselves.
We're talking about Black and white issues.
Okay, but she was speaking on something specific. So if she decided to go left on the conversation, then let her go a little bit left, and we can come right back to it. It's not that I'm not about to beat someone down because they took a conversation a little bit left. What I'm going to do as a moderator is I'm going to guide it right back into the conversation that we're having, and we're going to keep on going. But this whole beating it down to get the point across
is just beating it down. It's making it clear.
But you don't feel like it, but the rest of us, you don't feel like it, but the rest of us feel like you're beating it down. So can we just please move on?
Let me explain what I'm saying. It's the point of why we're saying the whole conversation. Because remember, we started with Kim explaining to me her situation, Jacqueline. And when my boo in Texas said I read it wrong, she just encouraging people to love their spouse the way they should. The whole point of this conversation is why Black men are dating white women. And so the clarity that was supposed to be provided to me was because Black women are not loving their men in the way that they want to be loved. And I'm saying, to me, that's a false narrative that we don't need to perpetuate as Black women.
My whole point, though, was not about Black women loving their men the way they need to be loved. All of the men were saying that they like to be congratulated or thanked, or have affirmations for doing the right things. And you guys were saying, why should we thank you or congratulate you for doing what you're supposed to do? That was what I was speaking to.
But Kim was speaking to the point that that's why they go to white women, because they're giving them what they want and Black women aren't, right?
Okay, but Naika, if every time we come on these stages and men are talking, this is what I hear, and everybody hears things differently.
Okay.
But when I hear Black men genuinely frustrated with our women, it's a lot of men who are saying
we're above correction. We're above being spoken to. We're above a lot of things. And that's what's frustrating. So when you hear, like, when you step in some rooms and you hear black women saying, well, I'm going to leave a black man and go be with a white man because why shouldn't I be provided for? And why shouldn't I be taken care of and appreciated and loved? It's like, everyone's like, yes, girl, go where you're celebrated. But when men say the same thing, it's like we push back on it so hard. Like, I agree with Kay. Like, sometimes, I know Tia doesn't like the word humble, but sometimes we need to humble ourselves and listen to them. Because if men are saying, like, I'm genuinely trying to relate to you, and we're saying, no, we're loving you perfect. You're going to take this love the way I give it to you. Like, at some point, a person is going to go to, like, what they feel like. And I'm not saying that I would be pushing a black man to go be with a white woman, but I think any human being at some point is going to be like, I done tried my best here and I'm not getting what I need from it. And I'm not saying that there aren't black women who aren't loving their men, but it goes back to what Jacqueline and some of the women are saying, like, you can't decide for somebody how they want to be loved. Like, sometimes we need to be quiet. Like, I love my sisters, but sometimes I get fucking exhausted because I'm like, y'all just don't hear anything sometimes. So if a man is saying that, we have to be willing to say, let me just introspection a little bit and see if there's something I might be able to do better to be able to receive this man in a way that he needs to be received. I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
So the consensus is that black men date out because
that's what they're trying to say. I don't agree with that.
That's not, I don't think
that's not the consensus.
Right. We can move on.
We can move on.